everyone, so today I'm just outside of Mansfield. I'm in Kirkby in Ashfield. We've got Sutton in Ashfield a little way over there, and we're on the former track bed of the Great Northern Railway's Leen Valley extension. So if I turn you about, you can see this abandoned, well, it looks like there's something going off, but it's not been used for a long time. That's your track bed heading towards Plesley, Silverhill Colliery and Pye Bridge Junction. Part of the Tevisil Trail is up there. I'm going to walk back this way because there used to be a colliery, and it was Kirkby Colliery or Summit Colliery, and closed in 1968. It is a little bit windy today, apologies for that. It seems to be a bit of a theme just recently. So I'm going to get onto part of the fallen track bed, and I think there's some lovely little surprises for us. Let's go and take a look. So a quick look at railmaponline.com to see where we are today. I'm just outside of Kirkby in Ashfield, between Kirkby in Ashfield and Sutton in Ashfield to be precise, and our starting location is here, just above Penny Emma Way. Now we'll go further down towards Summit Junction. I've just highlighted that now, and just across from the right hand side is where Kirkby Colliery was. You'll notice in the video I'll mention Kirkby Colliery a few times, and we'll be following that red line down from top to bottom with the slag heaps of the colliery on both sides of us. That Kirkby Summit Colliery, it was sunk between 1888 and 1890, and around 1960 it was planned to be a super pit, one of the largest collieries in Europe. It never came to fruition, and it closed surprisingly in 1968. The railway closed at the same time, as previously mentioned, down that way. But a little stub of it, about a quarter of a mile of it, stayed open, taking remaining coal workings away, and there was also a metal box factory just up there. I've got across a very noisy road. I'm going to get over there, but I think there might be something to show you actually on this road. So this is Penny Emma Way. It's very noisy, so you're going to have to see some traffic fly past, but you can see the alignment of the track where it once was. Let these go past. Straight through the middle, look. It's never even been resurfaced to actually cover up what was once there. The rails have all gone, but I'm surprised that that still stands. That's remarkable. So what I'm going to do is cross Penny Emma Way, and I'm going to pick up the track bed and head off towards Summit Junction on the active Nottingham to Worksop line. And typically the traffic's gone quiet now, as I've already done my little speechy bits. But look here, you've got that trajectory of the line, and if we look on this side, we've still got rails, look. There's still rails in the roadside. And around here is the track bed itself. Now it is fenced off, but it is also a public right of way just there, look. And you can get yourself on there and take a look down. And just there, look, you can make out yet another rail and some metal posts just there as well. So there's a fence post there, look, part of the railway boundary, and they go all the way along there. Down here there's something, there was probably some sort of signalling post just here. Looks like that was probably where cables went maybe, and something was stood there. There's Penny Emma Way, look, just behind that fence. We'll turn you about, and we're going to pick up our track bed and see what we can find. Kirkby Colliery's closure, it sent shockwaves throughout the communities and the mining industry. It was chucking out around about 1.5 million tonnes annually, and it sent coal via the rail network to all the new Trent Valley power stations such as Cottam, West Burton, Ratcliffe-on-Soar. It had also recently had a lot of money spent on it to link it up with nearby Langton and Brookhill collieries near Pigston. Around about £4 million was spent, including a processing plant. Seems such a waste, doesn't it? On both sides of the spoil heaps, you've got this one on that side and you've got one over there on the Sutton in Ashfield side. There's still no trace of anything railway related down here. I'm hoping to pick up on something at some point. There's an old sleeper under the grass and the moss just to the side of where I was just walking. So there's the part of the track bed I'm walking. If you look closely enough, you can still see stones of ballast mixed in with the mud too. And if we look carefully just to the side of that, you can see the alignment of track. Look where those green bits of moss and grass are. You can see the sleeper indentations and even the remains of a couple of sleepers just to the side. So we're getting quite a bit along here, aren't we, so far? And just beyond that, look, there's actual sleepers. More indentations, this is getting good. And more sleepers actually sat here, look. So we're actually picking up the alignment of the very final track alignment, aren't we, just here? Because the track bed clearly went further to that side when it was the through route of the Leen Valley extension. Indentations are just continuing, look, and nice little sections of track lay sleeping. Now also in this video, when it gets to the other end, I'm going to take you somewhere else, so stick around. I'm hoping to get myself to where the former Annesley Tunnel lays buried. Now it's not a tunnel we can get in, but I'm hoping to find a few remains. So that's something to look out for at the end of this video as a bit of bonus footage. I'm going to keep pushing on down here and I'll show you when I find something. So we're back with some rail section, look at this. And they're both present. If I jump over here, there's the other one. And both of them continue to run along. Now, there's a bit of a gap there, look, but nothing's going to run along here anyway. But it's heavily weeded over, brambles, ivy. And then it disappears, but I think it is still hidden there because a little further down we've got this, look. And there's loads of it. Look at this, this is beautiful. It stretches down there for as far as the eye can see. Now there's no trace of any buffers, so it appears that it was just cut off and severed at this point. But this is great, isn't it? And what we've got to remember is this hasn't been used since around about 1982, when I believe the last traffic served the box factory and the junction at Summit was taken out of use. So at 2022, this has been laid dormant for just about 40 years. So continually wandering down the track, and there's something really, really special here. Look, we've got a set of buffer stops, a second track alignment, a little bit of rail, some tipped over rail over there. There's the one we've just been following, look, and back towards the start of our journey today. That's remarkable, isn't it? I like that. Let's go around the other side again. You can see it from the side. Just a ghost of what it once was, and a relic of the railway period around this time and the industry that went with it. And ahead of the buffers, that track does stop, but the rails are still there, pushed to one side. The track bed we've actually been following, this alignment, is still here. Look how these have become dislodged and the fish plates are absent. The two different levels of rail there, look, a couple of centimetres set apart from each other. We're getting quite close to the end of our walk, because the active Nottingham to Mansfield and Worksop line is a little way further down. There we go again, look. Isn't that brilliant? And it continues on for us to follow. So right here, look, we've got ourselves a set of points, and it's going to be the set of points which take us off to the double track width that we've just had, and we've just been walking along. So the left hand side to that set of buffer stops a couple of 100 yards up, and the right hand side the track alignment we've been following since this walk began. Now we've got date stamps on here, look. Here we go. Get the shadow out. It's 1971, that one. So that's when this must have been relayed, because of course 1971 is after the colliery closed and after the through route towards Teversall and Silverhull. That was closed before that, so this was obviously relayed for the purpose of the freight traffic coming off it until the early 1980s, and they all appear to say 1971. And on the other side, exactly the same dates, 1971. So that's a really good find, that, isn't it? Brilliant. There's the old switchblades for the points too, and we're approaching Summit Junction. There's a little bit more of a points gear there, little mechanism. That is just out of sight down here, and there used to be a signal box down here too, which closed as part of the East Midlands re-signalling scheme, and I believe that has long gone. So there's the active track bed just there on the other side of that security fencing. here we are, Summit Junction. So the line back to Nottingham is just behind us. There's a bridge behind us. I don't believe that was the original one. I think the alignment was changed when this line was relayed around about 1972. So that's your view towards Sutton Parkway Station, Mansfield Station, and all the stations in between towards Worksop. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to leave this lovely stretch of disused railway line behind, and I'm going to jump to nearby Annesley, and I'm going to take a look, see if we can find any remains of where the Annesley Tunnel was. It's been filled in, we can't get in as I previously mentioned, but I do believe there may be some slight relics of the old tunnel there next to the active Kirkby Tunnel, which this line runs through. If you're leaving me here, thank you very much for watching. You can like, subscribe, comment below for more content, which is very similar to this, a lot of it in the East Midlands and beyond. If you're staying with me, I'll see you over in Annesley in just a moment. So what I'm doing now, I'm just beside the Robin Hood line between Worksop and Nottingham and Kirkby Tunnel, which opened for, or reopened for that purpose of that opening of that line back around 1992. And next to that is the former buried Annesley Tunnel, 1,001 yards in length, and it's been closed, I believe, since 1968. You cannot get in this, but what I'm trying to do is find any evidence that I can of this once busy former Great Central Tunnel. So a quick jump back to Rail Map Online to see where we are. So our first location at Kirkby and Ashfield is just at the top of the map. You can see now we're going to head on down more centrally to where you can see the blue and the yellow line together. The yellow line is the active Nottingham to Worksop line, and the blue line is the long closed Great Central line. And if we zoom in just a little bit closer, you can see those two parallel lines. We're going to walk over the yellow one. We'll see the portal, that's the open Kirkby Tunnel, and we're going to see if we can find any remains of the long infilled Great Central Annesley Tunnel, and that's the blue one on the right hand side. It was built by contractors Logan and Hemingway, opening 24th of October 1892. And it was a bit of a surprise enclosure because at the point it did carry millions of tons of freight each year. I'm getting closer to the active line. Once we find that, we'll see Kirkby Tunnel, and the disused tunnel is buried just the other side of that. So right now I'm stood above the southern portal of Kirkby Tunnel. That's down there, and it's a single track back as far as just beyond Bulwell, I believe. So Hucknall, Bulwell, and then Nottingham. It's very, very windy up the top of here and quite high up. Now if I turn you around, the second tunnel, Annesley, would have been a short distance over that way. So once I've left here, I'm going to see if I can get anywhere near that and see if anything remains at all. Wouldn't that be nice? Right, this is remarkable. So I've just come down there. Kirkby portal is just up there. I think I've found what would have been one of the construction shafts for Annesley Tunnel. Let's spin you around and take a look at this. How about that, eh? Is that not just remarkable? Blue bricks around. It's clearly infilled. Look, I mean, should be able to stand on it. There you go. Let's go over to the other side. Isn't that standing? So I've got to be stood directly above Annesley Tunnel. I can't believe I found that. So to think this is around about 130 years old and just served the sole purpose of the construction. So built before the tunnel was opened and then capped off. So the portal would have been just down there. So I'm going to continue down this path and see if we can get any closer. There it is, leave that behind. Any closer to where the portal would have been, the southern portal of Annesley Tunnel. And I've now stepped down to the other side. I've come down the hill even more and you can see the surroundings of field. Your Great Central track bed, that's shot off over in that direction. We've got the live line just there. In the distance you can see a wind turbine far away. I'd say it's probably about a mile and a half away. That's the one that's at the former Annesley sheds and sidings. The sun's very bright today. Yes, we was there a couple of months ago. If you remember, you might have seen that one. So just around here, I'll point you over this hedge so you can see exactly where we are, hopefully. Just down there, that's the cutting of the active railway line, which goes along that way. So it appears there's no more remains of the tunnel, but I'm deeply pleased about the bit we did find. I'm going to have a little look over there, not expecting to find anything, but try and pick up the route of the Great Central just a little bit and then say goodbye to you. Right, so the Great Central line, see that line of hedge and a few trees? That was the route of the track bed, continuing off towards Annesley and Newstead, and that's about as far as we can go today. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been a nice little look at two locations just outside of Sutton in Ashfield. That is absolutely brilliant, and looking at the old Kirkby Summit Colliery and the track bed that remains just there, and then heading on over to the site of the abandoned Annesley Tunnel and that little find over there. That was a little bonus for this video, wasn't it? And a little look at Kirkby Tunnel. Take care, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.